Dude, I am so glad. I'll have a few weeks where I don't have to be anywhere near you.
I should have let you stay sleeping when the hotel was on fire last night.
Oh, God, I hate you.
Same times the 1,000, buddy.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back to the Elder Scrolls Legends Masters series. I'm still Justin Larson. I'm still super happy to be here with my best friend, Charmer.
That's right. I couldn't be more excited to share this table
Absolutely.
with anybody else but you.
Yeah, anybody else would have been great. So we have our top playoff for the top 3 match coming up next.
That's right. We're going to have Shinestorm versus Ksedden, and there is a lot on the line here
This is
for
a big
number
deal.
of reasons.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and explain that?
Sure. So because of the way the points work out, Shinestorm is going to ultimately earn a spot at QuakeCon,
No matter what
win
happens.
or lose. If they take 3rd place, they qualify.
Yeah.
Just by the nature of the finish.
Mhm.
If they take 4th place, they're going to earn one of the spots based on the points accumulated.
Right.
Ksedden, on the other hand, has to
win.
win to make it to QuakeCon.
So Shinestorm is the gatekeeper for Ksedden at QuakeCon.
So taking a look at the lineups here, we've got Ksedden versus Shinestorm. Bans are not in. If
Right.
you are Ksedden, what do you ban from Shinestorm?
Well, I'm always leery of Shout Scout. Uprising Scout is just such a ferocious deck. Consistently does such just truly degenerate things in this game. I'm afraid of that. I ban out Scout.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really disagree with anybody suggesting banning Scout. Shinestorm, looking over at Ksedden's list, there's no Scout to ban, so what do you do?
Yeah, that's tough to say. The Doomcrag Warrior is, of course, sort of a wild card deck, the kind of thing that you want to either have a strategy for, plot it out, and have practiced against. It's not necessarily a deck that you practice a lot against because it's not that popular. I would be tempted to ban out the Warrior.
Yeah, I think that the choice is probably Warrior or Telvanni.
That makes sense.
Telvanni, if there's no Scout available, easy ban. You can
Yeah.
you can feel confident, right? You don't
I
feel
totally
like you've
agree.
wasted your ban.
I totally
I'm kind of with you on maybe banning Warrior though, just because it matches up so poorly against like my Dwemer list.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the bans. We have just received word that those are in. Looks like Scout was banned and House Telvanni was banned. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Neither player wants to deal with Drain Vitality.
Right.
Neither player wants to deal with Ulfric's Uprising any more than they have to.
Absolutely. And this means we get to see several really interesting lists. Both players are rocking a Tribunal list. Both players are rocking Warrior lists. They're pretty different lists.
Yeah, they're the same class, but they are not the same archetype by
No.
any means.
Just like we're the same archetype, Caster, we're not even close to being in the same class.
Or of the same quality.
No, I agree.
So the other interesting thing is we're going to have 2 Tribunal decks showcased
Yeah.
in this series. Neither one of those are necessarily identical.
No,
as well.
one is Uprising, one is Chanter, as far as the engine that gives them additional cards.
Yeah, absolutely. So sounds like game 1 is ready to go. Let's go
rock
ahead
and roll.
dive into this game, see what the players picked
Mhm.
to lead off with. And Shinestorm leading off with the robots. I love it.
We have to do the dance if Shinestorm wins this game.
I told you, every time they win.
Awesome.
Ksedden brought Tribunal, and you may notice Silent Pilgrim is in Ksedden's
I
hand.
think that's a one of in his list.
Yeah, interesting tech choice.
Mhm.
Fetches a lot of high value, high quality cards
Right.
like Archcannon, like Iron, Sorcerer's Negations.
Doesn't consistently tutor the same thing though, which is kind of a concern I would have running it. It definitely draws you a card every time, but what it draws you is very variable.
They've no move we
Oathman
can't
also is a
anticipate.
fantastic pickup for Ksedden here.
Yeah. All right, so Shinestorm on the board. Ksedden deciding between a couple of different cards off his Indral Mastermind.
If Shinestorm top decks a Mechanical Ally, I really like Shinestorm's opener.
well, there's
Instead
Halls of
finds
the
a Halls
Dwemer.
of the Dwemer.
Now you want to nothing to play this turn though. You
Yeah.
don't.
The Mechanical Ally would have been a body, a drawn card, and set up that Dwarven Dynamo the following turn very nicely.
Instead, I think we just see a Silent Pilgrim here.
Could be a Pilgrim. I like maybe also playing this Execute.
Yeah, Ksedden definitely chose that for a reason.
Yeah, there's not like a ton of high value Execute targets.
Well,
in
once
this
Halls of the
Dwemer
Dwemer
list.
comes down too, there are no
Right.
execute targets.
Merchant's Camel is still not a robot, much to your
We're
dismay.
working on that. He's being upgraded. We can rebuild him.
We have the technology.
It's our most dated reference yet. All right, so, you know, that Archcannon Sarioni sitting in Ksedden's hand is just so looming.
You know, speaking of caster mistakes, I think you just made one. Our most dated reference might be week 1. We made a reference to Francis Ferdinand being assassinated by Gavrilo Princip to start
true.
World War I.
That's true. We tried to tone down the History Channel aficionado after that.
All right, so Dwarven Dynamo comes down. Again, this is a really powerful play.
Yeah.
I think the only reason Dwarven Dynamo doesn't see more play is because you have to kind of commit to the neutral archetype. But at 4 Magicka and with all of the ways to abuse the summon effect, like that Knight to Remember sitting in Shinestorm's hand, it's really strong.
Drawing that edict from that Silent Pilgrim might be the deciding play of this game.
Well,
what? Never mind. Never mind.
All right, so Ksedden decides, hey, I don't need edict for Halls of the Dwemer.
Wow.
This is going to generate a lot of resources for Shinestorm.
And I actually really like putting the recurring spider into the discard pile like that.
So I don't think that Halls of the Dwemer comes down this next turn. I imagine Shinestorm's just going to start flooding the board with some bodies.
I agree.
That Reflective Automaton does count as a Dwemer.
Yes.
It is also a Mud Crab.
And
it is also a god.
Yeah.
It is the Mud Crab god. All hail Reflective Automaton.
Praise be.
But it's important because it does get that buff, right? So cheap body, you could probably see some route where they are playing that in Mechanical Ally next turn.
Behold the light.
Okay, chooses to play just a ramp Tribunal Oathman.
I think that's actually a pretty safe play here. You get a body on the board. You're ramping up to maybe take advantage of that Genius Path Mage.
Yeah. That makes sense. A second Fleeting Apparition. Fleeting Apparition has been pretty reasonable in Shinestorm's deck.
Yeah.
Kudos to him for finding a use for that card.
I don't think that you're going to use it here. I think you want to develop. You want bodies on the board.
Best you can probably do is what? Mechanical Ally, Reflective Automaton?
Yeah, I think that's probably the route that you're going to take here.
Oh, looks like Halls of the Dwemer coming down. This does make a certain degree of sense, right? Because otherwise your opponent is going to just get a free kill on that Mechanical Spider. Dwarven Spider coming down. Now it's Ksedden racing to draw, support removal.
Yeah, maybe Shinestorm felt like that was an acceptable play simply because he had already seen one edict.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, if we look at Ksedden's list, I'm not sure that he's rocking a whole lot of way of support.
Meanwhile, this is a really big Archcannon for Ksedden.
That is
he trades, he gains some health, keeps a guard on the board.
Yep.
Draws a card.
Now here comes Mechanical Ally. 4 power drain creature is a big deal, but there's a Lightning Bolt in hand.
And there is no longer a Lightning Bolt in hand.
Just connects. Now in Kano, I mean, like, is Ksedden just on the face plan here?
I think Ksedden still has plenty of control tools if they want to grind this out. It's possible they start ramping up the pressure.
Gearwork Spider bringing back Gearwork Spider. Unfortunately, it's going to get hit with Reverberating Strike. But man, that's powerful. And probably keeps Ksedden off of his initial plan, which I have to assume was Ancano.
Yeah, that's a pretty big prophecy. And it means that another Gearwork Spider will flood the board very nicely in favor of Shinestorm at some point.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Yeah, that actually is one of the most impactful prophecies I think we've seen.
So if you're Shinestorm, I think the card that you might want to top deck the most is Dwarven Dynamo. You can push a lot of damage with those 2 Knight to Remembers and a Dwarven Dynamo.
That is totally true.
And then the lower you can get Ksedden, the better you probably feel with those Crushing Blows and Lightning Bolts and things like that for reach. You might also make him overdraw. Depending on the cards he plays here, if he has got a lot of cards in hand, that much burst in a single turn could be a pretty impressive...
Still choosing to just Ancano.
Yeah, I think that this is going to take out the ally, though.
Fabricate. We know Fabricate's not great right now because of Piercing Javelin. Depending on what happens here, too, actually, Reverberating Strike could deal an obnoxious amount of damage. Well, 4.
It's really obnoxious.
Dude, it is. I'm unabashedly on the side of the robots here. I want Skynet to hear that. Please, Skynet.
So one of the other interesting things about that gear work, now it's a moot point now, but A Night to Remember would have brought the other one back.
Yeah.
Right? That is a train that could have been explored. But I like this. This just, again, you generate bodies, keep the pressure going.
Yeah. I'm curious about something. When Houses of Morrowind was released, did Fabricate have Rally added to the list of keywords it could give creatures?
If it has been added, I have not seen it.
Yeah. I've played a fair amount of Fabricate. I haven't seen it myself, but
it makes sense. There are other keywords that are purposefully left off as well. Like you can't get charge.
Right.
So
I think you can get everything else though. So I think that Ksedden is pretty firmly in control right now. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, Ksedden has a lot of options, can certainly deal with the board as is, but I think Shinestorm's doing a great job of making Ksedden use resources the way he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I agree.
Because right now with that Sorcerer's Negation, you might be tempted to get rid of the Incubator. Instead, we're going to see a Path Mage into a Feasting Hunger.
Feasting Hunger is a pretty big deal. And Reverberating Strike still available. Swings like that. Hits a Dwarven Sphere.
Dwarven Sphere is a great tempo pickup.
Yeah.
Actually, could be very, very good with the A Night to Remember's in hand.
Yep, that is fair. Now, Shinestorm picks up...
we find a Dwarven Dynamo.
Wow, there's a lot of power in Shinestorm's hand right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crushing Blow is kind of huge, too, because Ksedden is clearly trying to transition into being the aggressor.
Yeah. You kind of feel bad about that Genius Path Mage being there. You're fearing an Uprising, should that be something Ksedden has in hand. But in terms of the Uncano, in terms of the Feasting Hunger, you've got a lot of other tools at your disposal. You could Crushing Blow Uncano. You could Dwarven Dynamo onto your Automaton to run into the Hunger.
Yep.
You could Shackle the Path Mage. Again, doesn't stop the Uprising shenanigans, but a lot of tools available to Shinestorm.
Now, what is the keyword on that custom fabric? With 6 Magicka available, that card has to be a consideration for Shinestorm. Instead, we're seeing Dwarven Sphere, and we're seeing Stronghold Eradicator. Okay, that is a 9-power creature.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's also a Lightning Rod for Piercing Javelin.
Absolutely. And that's going to drop Shinestorm down to 13.
I think I would have preferred the... Oh, this is a big Lightning Bolt.
It is.
I still think I would have preferred the path that would have saw more bodies hit the board for Shinestorm and then just taking advantage of...
I agree.
Dwarven Sphere. But by leaving that 9/6 out there, maybe he's trying to think I can kill him in one turn if it survives.
I think Ksedden's line is Piercing Javelin, Solterra Uncano, Barrowstalker.
That's the best use of Magicka for sure. You know, we know you can't risk leaving that 9/6 out there because, again, the hand Shinestorm has.
Yeah. Ksedden taking his time figuring out which creature to bring back here.
It's entirely possible. I was about to say it's entirely possible Genius Path Mage is a better play.
Sure.
You're really close to 12 Magicka, at which point that Path Mage is phenomenal. It either fetches more Path Mages or it finds you Necromancers. You're okay with all of those outcomes. So the Custom Fabricant had Ward.
Yeah.
Nice big resilient threat.
Right this way.
Change path mage for a 5-cost creature.
May the ancestors
Grabs
bless
Iron,
us.
which grabs Edict.
Wow. What a roll for Ksedden.
Oh my god. That was impressive. There's no doubt about that. Alright. And instead we're just gonna see Javelin.
I mean, given the board state, you don't have to use the Edict on the hulls right away.
And Shinestorm's been doing his best to stop the aggression from Ksedden. You know, this is an approach that Ksedden is taking a line of approach here that I see a lot of players who are playing Tribunal on the ladder take, where it's just like, hey, I'm just gonna kill you over the course of like 5 turns, poking you down. And it always seems to me like to be just like one of the riskiest plays you can make with this deck.
Well, in many ways, it feels to me like Ksedden just doesn't respect the Dwemmers. He says,
Yeah.
you know, I don't care if I give you cards. I don't care what robots you draw.
Right.
I just have better quality of cards all the way around, and I can almost play this deck like it's mid-range.
Yeah, that is how it seems like it's being played. Shinestorm picking up another camel. These camels feel like a weak point in Shinestorm's list.
Honestly, I think the things that have been hurting Shinestorm the most are those A Night to Remembers. There's so many cool things that you can do with them, but for a lot of this game, it feels like they should have just been bodies.
Didn't keep the Gearworks Spider. There are 2 in the discard pile.
All right, so we do see some of the shackle effects come down, and Ksedden right on point with quality top decks yet again.
It just looks like it's just going to choose Laneth.
Well, Laneth is the right play here. Ice Storm is just one of those cards you want in your back pocket in case Shinestorm goes wide. Ksedden still has aggression on his mind. This Laneth could even... I could see him just finding something like a Lightning Bolt, maybe another Soul Tear to get on Kano.
Yeah.
Could go find Uprising because, quite frankly, if the board stays the way it is, when it comes back to your turn, you just win with Uprising. Lots of things Laneth could find.
Oh, poor robots. Odoving. It's interesting. I mean, that's the turn that Ksedden chooses to take the hulls out.
Well, you got the 3 magical left over. You're not in any danger of being bursted down this turn. You know you're going to play Odoving next turn. I think that's a safe time to remove it.
Yeah. Yagrum, the only card from Houses of Morrowind that bears the Dwemer tag, the draw here, very strong card, not likely to get Shinestorm out of this position.
Yeah, it doesn't help Shinestorm right now, but it's one of those high power level cards like Dwarven Dynamo that just doesn't see play because you have to play so many other subpar cards to kind of make it work.
Right.
But like in a vacuum, really powerful.
Yeah, I agree. Picks up Ankano. This is not the time for Ankano. Picks up a Shackle. Helpful. Lethal still on board. Dwarven Dynamo. Turning that camel into a house. And then Mechanical Ally, probably. No.
I think we're going to see another Shackle if I had to guess. This is just Shinestorm buying some time. Gets that sphere back for more Shackle later. Again, Fleeting Apparition in this list, kind of showing the work that it can do with some Dwemer summon effects.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately,
Odoving coming down, going to wipe out the robot army. Dragons versus robots. Edge goes to dragons in this one.
Well, the Dwemer's Thume is pretty weak.
It's no match for his. Ksedden is just sitting on nothing in hand, but is making it work. Shinestorm drawing a card, picks up a Halls of the Dwemer. That, along with a Dwarven Spider, would keep him alive if it wasn't for that Sorcerer's Negation.
Yeah, the Sorcerer's Negation is the trump card, if you will.
Yeah, this is going to be game.
And a second one will lock this up for sure.
Yeah.
We know that the Gearworks Spiders have already went to the grave. A little bit sad we didn't get to see Mechanar come down. But
And there we go. Ksedden taking the first match in our battle for the 3rd place finish, the last guaranteed spot at QuakeCon in today's tournament. Did that match go about as well as you thought it would for the robots?
I think it did because of the decks in Ksedden's lineup. I think that one probably gives the robots the hardest time.
That makes sense.
You've got hard removal, you've got AoE removal, you've got support removal, everything that makes the Dwemer's hum.
Those power crystals.
Yeah. Tribunal just kind of takes the wind out of those sails.
That makes sense.
Doomcrag, I think, has the potential to be another rough matchup as well, just because of the presence of Douchnik. But I could see a scenario. I mean, we've seen Doomcrag struggle with the draw before.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the wrong draw, I could see the Dwemers outracing it. I actually think I like the Dwemers against Halalu. Yeah. So I think that could end up being like a key match if the Dwemers have not won by then.
Well, we've seen Shinestorm switch it up in the past when faced with a troublesome, game. So could bring his Tribunal, could bring his Warrior. Ksedden has Halalu and Warrior left.
Yeah, given what's left there on the board, I like switching to Tribunal here. I think that I'm pretty confident with Tribunal against either of those lists.
That makes sense.
Makes me close the series to be 1-1 if I do get a win there. I would feel confident with that.
Okay. That makes sense to me as well. I'm really eager to see this battle continue. I mean, there's so much on the line here for Ksedden. Shinestorm is going to QuakeCon either way.
Yeah,
This is such an interesting situation.
I'm really curious to see how this series plays out, just because if Shinestorm does win the series and send Ksedden home, he has to do it with robots at one point or another. Yeah. Robots have to win to keep Ksedden out of QuakeCon.
It's 2018, man. The robot time has come. Viva la revolution.
All right, so Ksedden did go with the Doomcrag list.
All right, we have Warrior on Warrior, but they are two very different Warrior decks.
Yeah, Shinestorm did make a switch, but not to Tribunal.
No.
This might actually work out really well for Shinestorm, though. If I was going to play a deck against Doomcrag, I think this one might have his best matchup.
Sure.
Again, it kind of draw dependent, though, right? If Ksedden finds a Doomcrag and can keep these big, beefy threats off the board, it favors Ksedden.
Absolutely.
But all of these little pings without a Doomcrag do not fare well against the big bodies of Warrior.
Shinestorm's decision there to just sacrifice that, kind of interesting.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan, and I'll tell you why. Young Mammoth, not so good against anything with lethal, and you want to get it on the board.
Yeah.
So this clears the way.
Ksedden with the Ring and the Namira Shrine and the Necromancer's Amulet right now. This is the draw you want to have with this deck.
Yeah, this could not have went better for Ksedden in the early game.
No.
I wouldn't be shocked if this is honestly just develop Amulet and pass.
Yeah, I agree.
Instead, we're going to see a Douchnik come down. This is also entirely reasonable. Without a weapon or something like that, you're not going to protect your Mammoth.
It feels a little bit like a little aggressive. A little like, I want to end this game now.
There's only so much that honor can allow.
With the addition of Raiding Party, if you're Ksedden here, I 100% play Namira Shrine here and pass.
Yeah, I mean, I think your choices are either Amulet or Raiding Party. Because you can still play the Shrine next turn on a turn where you're going to activate it.
No, if you play Shrine this turn, next turn you activate it with Raiding Party Amulet token.
Yeah, that's entirely reasonable as well. There's actually a lot of different ways you can saturate your Magicka here.
Polyunsaturated Magicka.
Tests us.
All right, so it looks like Ksedden is going the Raiding Party option, leaving the Shrine in hand.
More Clan Captain coming down.
Yeah, I wasn't against the Raiding Party option. I was a little...
So bad against that Halalu Sharpshooter.
I mean, it's bad, but it's also pretty good. It's a lot of damage and board presence that you force the response from, right? So if it wasn't for the presence of all those Nord Firebrands and Sharpshooter, like, I would have felt really good about that turn.
Yeah.
It's just we know...
It's definitely a lot of damage, but yeah, this does not match up well against what Ksedden is currently rocking.
Yeah, we know that things aren't going to go well. On the plus side, though, if the Sharpshooter has to hit the Gatekeeper, the Haunting Spirit's still going to get some value here. Like, you're really forcing kind of a tough decision.
I only need one shot.
Yeah, it looks like Ksedden recognizes that and says, I would much rather not deal with that last gasp, even if it means...
the second raiding party, though.
Tests us.
This is a clear except the Orc Clan captain.
Time to fight. Time to fight.
But it doesn't leave Ksedden with a lot of resources left over. I mean, yes, you have the shrines.
Yeah.
Yes, you have the amulet. But that's it, right? You're going to need some help. Like, yeah, you've cleared, but you're going to need some help. If Shinestorm draws the beefier side of his lineup at this point, because you don't have Doomcrag in hand, like if you were to draw Sower of Revenge or something like that here, could be really well positioned for Shinestorm. Unfortunately, Doomcrag and Barrowstalker are
big
solid
draws.
follow-ups.
Big draws.
Ksedden showcasing all of that top deck skill.
Absolutely. Shinestorm push 4 damage next turn, 1 rally. Does have the Earthbound Spinner for the Barrowstalker, but that's not really a great long-term answer to what's going on here. What do you want to draw if you're Shinestorm? It's the best thing in your list right now.
I mean, right now it's got to be Sower of Revenge. You want to represent as much damage on the board as possible. It swings for 5. It requires some sort of like lethal interaction to clear. It represents 5 damage. You've seen one sharpshooter hit the board, so you're hoping there's not a lot of silence left.
Battle Rage Orc is kind of a big deal. It's sort of the perfect draw, actually.
Yeah, Battle Rage is a fantastic draw as well. I think, you know, the ideal scenario is you want to go like Sower, and then into all of your charge creatures.
I think at this point you swing into the Sharpshooter with the Hunting Spirit. You play Earthbone into the Shadow Lane, hitting the Barrowstalker. You rally onto the Battle Rage Orc and you go face, and you start praying. Ksedden's hand's not great. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean, we said before, you had to use all of those Nord Firebrands to get the resources off the board, but it left him with none as well, so he does need some help.
Another Halalu Sharpshooter is a pretty big deal. But there's no way to land Doomcrag next turn. Oh, Halalu Sharpshooter is a big deal.
Yeah, just like I said.
Yep.
Ksedden showcasing all of that skill.
Absolutely.
In the top decks.
Yep. That's 6 damage coming across.
Shinestorm still not out of it, but that Scion is not what you were looking for.
The Halalu Sharpshooter in hand. Shinestorm's losing everything next turn.
There's only so much that
swing in, swing in.
Yeah, the Archer.
Necromancer's Amulet.
Archer's a pretty big pickup because it provides removal and a guard as well.
And an Aldblothy Assassin to trigger the Numira Shrine. I think this game's over. I know he's at 7, but this is the soft lock that the Doomcrag deck aims for.
I only need one shot.
There we go.
I slay the unworthy.
Yeah, so...
And a second Shrine to follow it up next turn means you
Young
can cycle
Mammoth,
through your whole deck very quickly.
Yeah, Young Mammoth was unfortunately not what Shinestorm needed. Shinestorm still needed, realistically, to find some Sowers or find some charge.
That Dushnikiel Archer is so huge, too. I think...
You know... There was a path for Shinestorm that involved just top decking charge over and over again.
Yeah.
Shinestorm's not doing that either, and now that the Shadow Lane is full, Ksedden can use that to churn health, or he could just Red Year and gain 5 health here as well.
Absolutely. Instead, we're going to get to rally onto the Stormcloak Vanguard. Choosing instead to kills on creatures, that makes sense.
orders.
And this is the thing, the Doomcrag deck might take another 20 minutes to win, but this is how you do it.
The battle is
yours. Yep, Shinestorm sees the writing on the wall, concedes, putting Ksedden up 2-0 in this battle for 3rd place.
All right, so I liked Shinestorm's game plan there.
Absolutely. Ksedden just had the absolute perfect draw.
Yeah, Ksedden probably couldn't have asked for a better opener, really, when it comes to playing Doomcrag against a meaty mid-range list like that.
Even things like hitting that Sharpshooter Scout the turn when he had 7 Magicka and the Doomcrag in hand was huge.
Yeah, and I mean, all jokes aside about top decking and whatever, Ksedden piloted it very well.
Of course.
We would expect nothing less. Very solid player. So Shinestorm now down.
Right.
2-0.
So that leaves Ksedden with the House Halalu deck.
Yeah. The good news is this is the deck that we felt was potentially the weak spot of the lineup.
Yeah.
I can see a path for Shinestorm to get a victory here.
Absolutely.
I think that the Dwemmers, if they had a good matchup, it would have been against this deck.
I think all 3 of Shinestorm's decks could probably pull off a win against House Halalu.
Yeah, they're all capable of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the Assassin and the Warrior are like almost coin flips in many ways, right? When I look at this matchup, both of those against Halalu are going to be very draw dependent. Whoever has the better draw there, I think is going to have a huge leg up.
I would definitely agree with that.
What do you bring if you're Shinestorm? I mean, you have all 3 of your decks.
You know what you're playing against. You know you're playing against Halalu. I mean, look, your Tribunal deck has the removal suite. Your Warrior deck can race easily. I would go with one of those. I wouldn't bring the robots.
I mean, I would play the robots because I would want to die on that hill.
I think that do robots die, or they just go offline?
I don't know. Do they dream of electric sheep?
As I understand it, yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Shinestorm looks like did take your advice.
Sweet.
Brought the Tribunal.
Rock on.
I think we're going to see that Death Priest get mulliganed away. It's typically a dead draw against Halalu. I mean,
a death draw.
Yeah, I mean, you can hit like Cliff Racers and things like that and maybe shut down some clutch stuff, but you certainly can't justify keeping it in the opener. I like Barrow Stalker. I like Negation.
Yeah, I agree.
Both solid. Looks like Ksedden considering throwing everything back, and I can agree with that. When you don't have the ring, you're looking for Marked Man.
Yeah. 5th Legion Trainer. And Goblin Skulk.
Goblin Skulk's a great pickup as well.
Second Negation is a pretty big deal too, though.
Mournhold Trader.
Yeah, I mean, you should probably lead with Mournhold Trader here if you're Ksedden.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've always said I think Goblin Skulk might be the most powerful 2-drop in the game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's always the best 2-drop. Whenever you have the option to lead with a Mournhold Trader, I think you have to do it.
I agree. And the draw there from Ksedden is hitting the Mudcrab Merchant gives him...
It gives him great options here. You can Mudcrab, and if you don't get anything worthwhile, you can go ahead and develop a Skulk. Wow.
Siege Catapult.
Siege Catapult.
And plays it.
Well, yeah. There's no reason not to because...
This is a lane full of creatures you can't kill with Sorcerer's Negation.
Yeah, you can't kill them with Negation. You can't kill them with Firebolt.
Wow, look at that Siege Catapult. Okay.
Ksedden must have paid top dollar to that Mudcrab because that was a really impressive pickup.
Definitely was.
And then to make things even worse, Ksedden now has options. Before I would have said Brawler was like the go-to easy pick because you protect your other threats.
Ash Berserker, wow.
Ash Berserker is entirely fine as well.
I mean, I'm just imagining a world where Siege Catapult's a regular feature of Halalu, and I don't want to live in that world.
Yeah, Clan Captain and Goblin Skulk could have been an option there as well, but I really liked the Brawler play personally because you could have used that to remove the Orc, kept the damage off your Mournhold.
Yep. This is
we know
tough.
Shinestorm doesn't have a Firebolt, but Firebolt might have been a little bit of a problem there. Instead, Shinestorm's stuck playing passive.
Yep, Emperor's Blade it is.
Yeah, and that's not going to go well for him, sadly. Ksedden has kind of all the tools that you would want.
Yeah, this is unreal.
That Siege Catapult can trade in and survive.
Yep.
If you really wanted to draw cards, Crusader's Assault is an option there. And it looks like Ksedden says, I like drawing cards.
Makes a lot of sense. Chooses to swing in
with the Mournhold. Interesting.
Okay. I mean, for his troubles, is rewarded with another Mudcrab Merchant.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that line. He's not going to be punished very hard for it because he's got a million things he can do with his hand, but a little surprised.
Coming up onto 6 Magicka, you might just not want Shinestorm to have an Ice Storm.
Yeah, that's entirely reasonable if you're trying to protect the Catapult from Ice Storm, but You had so many other cards in your hand.
Yeah.
Ones that draw, ones that fetch you other things, things that charge. I don't think I would have been that worried about Ice Storm, personally.
This is almost over.
Yeah, I mean, it ultimately doesn't matter. There is no Ice Storm, and Shinestorm doesn't have nearly enough ways to keep himself alive against that board. That Mud Crab Merchant was phenomenal.
Yeah. Wow. Ksedden sitting on what? 9 cards in hand. More cards than the control deck player.
Yeah.
It's turn 6. Has dealt a lot of damage.
Listen, Ice Storm could have Prophecy and it wouldn't be enough to get Shinestorm back into this game.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of prophecies, that's a pretty big deal. That keeps you alive. You were about to die.
I mean, it keeps you alive for maybe another turn.
Yeah.
There is just, like, look, when you're looking at Ksedden's hand, Shadow Step gives you cards, Oathman gives you cards, Ash Berserker gives you cards, Mudcrab Merchant gives you cards, Skulk fetches cards.
Yes.
2 of the other creatures charge, right? Like,
it's a lot going on there.
You're about to draw 2 more?
Yeah. Oh, look, man, drawing cards is the coolest thing you can do in this game.
Wow, I'm really surprised by that.
Okay. Chooses to draw 1 more, 2 more, 3 more, 4 more.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to draw 2 either way because the other Ash Berserker has 5 power, but...
It's not an unreasonable play, though, right? Because, like, you have to think to yourself, if something goes disastrously wrong, I should probably kill this Barrow Stalker sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was just trying to play around Dawn's Wrath, right, with the ring.
Oh, my God. Oh, my
Wow. So...
that Dawnbreaker, dude.
Dawnbreaker is enough to swing for 8.
Oh, my God. Okay, Shadow Shift says, all right, now I got another way to kill
Stormcloak Vanguard would be 9. It puts him very close to lethal.
Yeah. Wow.
Shadow Shift here might find him...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Dawnbreaker, drop a Balmora Spymaster. Or whatever. Balmora Puppeteer.
Yeah,
sorry.
Puppeteer.
Alright.
If you want to talk business, you come to the right
Sometimes
place.
the devastation is so great that it's a little hard to watch.
Yeah, so the good news is, right, Halalu is going to have Haunted Manor nerfed, and as you can see from this game, Haunted Manor had a huge impact on how well this deck performed, right?
You know,
So,
I've actually suggested that Halalu will just drop Haunted Manor and be just as good.
What?
Yeah.
But it had such a big impact in this game, Justin.
Yeah. No, look. Halalu, I think the strength of this deck comes from the repeated card draw.
There's always a plan.
That's it. Charge creatures are great. Drawing tons of cards is how you win.
The waters of life.
Okay, this is the only play that keeps him alive on board. Cliff Racer's going to come down and finish this. Ksedden is going to QuakeCon.
Yeah, Ksedden is going to take 3rd place. And, yeah. Wins 3-0 against Shinestorm.
We've had a lot of really, really dramatically one-sided affairs today. This was another one of them. Shinestorm didn't seem to be able to connect at any point.
No, not during that series at all.
No.
Shinestorm played really well throughout the day, given the hands and things that were presented.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if Shinestorm sticks with something like this at QuakeCon or brings a different list. You know, obviously the meta is going to be shaken up a little bit.
Yeah.
You can say this about Dwemmers, not affected by the nerfs.
That's true. That's true. In fact, relatively speaking, relative power level increases a little bit because other things are getting worse.
Yeah. One of the things I'm looking forward to at QuakeCon personally is just some of the rivalries and rematches that we're going to get to see.
There's going to be a lot of trash talking, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, a lot of, you know, epic battles played out off stage and on stage.
Yeah. Speaking of epic battles, our next series, Trader Joe, Karakhan Zul.
Let's take a look at the bracket here. So this is how we got here. Shinestorm and Keletis fought. Shinestorm and Trader Joe fought. Trader Joe made it all the way to the end.
That's right. Trader Joe, multiple appearances in our top 8s throughout these qualifiers. Finally in his finals debut, if you will, for the series.
Yes.
River Yowie and Ksedden had a very close match.
Yep.
Then Ksedden ran into Karakan Zul, who's been on fire.
Absolutely. Just been tearing it up today.
Karakan Zul going to be in the finals. Ksedden, after, getting swept, did some sweeping of his own, right?
Picked up the brew.
Earns a spot at QuakeCon, but now we get to see Trader Joe.
Right. This is for today's money.
Yeah. There is a $1,000 prize pool on the line for today.
One of these two players is going to be our champion, our last qualifier champion before QuakeCon.
Yeah.
This is so exciting, man. We are so close. So close.
Trader Joe, Karakan Zul, couldn't ask for a better finals for our last qualifier. We'll be right back.
It starts small. One game is